I am 75 years old now. When people look at me today, they see comfort, they see calm, they see a man who no longer rushes, no longer proves, no longer explains. They see the buildings, the land, the balance sheets, the quiet respect when I enter a room. What they do not see is what built all of this. And it was not luck, it was not intelligence, and it was never speed for applause, it was obsession. I learned very early that talent is common. In every cafe, every university, every office, you will find talented men talking about what they could do. But the men who actually build wealth are different. They are obsessed. Their minds do not rest. Quality keeps them awake. Details disturb their sleep. Losing bothers them more than winning satisfies them. When I was young, the work followed me into my prayers, into my meals, into the silence before dawn. If you are not thinking about your craft when you wake up, it will never make you rich. Obsession is not balance, obsession is fuel. I did not chase many things. I chose one vehicle and I stayed inside it for a lifetime. While others jumped from opportunity to opportunity, I went deep, very deep. Real estate became my language. Land taught me patience. Buildings taught me leverage. Cities taught me timing. Wealth does not come from variety, it comes from depth. One industry, one mastery, one long commitment. The men who scatter their focus collect nothing but stories. And very early, I understood something painful but freeing. Salaries end, fees stop, titles expire. Ownership is the only real wealth. If you do not own it, you are building someone else's future. I owned land, I owned structures, I owned systems. Even when people worked for me, I made sure their effort moved toward ownership somewhere. If not with me, then in their own lives. Ownership compounds quietly while income sleeps. As my wealth grew, all money eventually searched for the same home, property. Real estate is where fast money comes to rest. Cash turns into assets. Assets turn into legacy. Real estate preserves capital when markets panic. It produces cash flow when businesses struggle. It gives leverage when opportunities appear. Almost every rich man you admire ends here eventually, whether he admits it or not. Fast money is made elsewhere. Permanent money lives in property. But property alone is not power. Control is power. That is why I learned to own vertically. I controlled supply, labor, materials, and distribution whenever possible. Dependence slows you down. Independence speeds you up. When you control the full chain, margins expand and excuses disappear. Whoever controls the process controls the profit. Speed became my advantage. Not reckless speed, decisive speed. Slow decisions kill empires long before competitors do. I moved before certainty arrived. Clarity always came after action, never before. Perfect plans are the comfort of fearful men. Execution belongs to builders. I never thought in years, I thought in decades. No one-year plans, no quick exits. Wealth is not a sprint, it is a lifestyle. I asked myself one question before every serious decision. Will this still make sense 20 years from now? If the answer was no, I walked away. If it could not last, it was not worth starting. Comfort was always dangerous. Comfort dulls hunger. Hunger sharpens innovation. Whenever life became too easy, I deliberately made it harder. New projects, bigger risks, unfamiliar terrain. The moment you feel safe is the moment growth ends. Wealth punishes comfort more harshly than poverty ever could. I also learned that the best marketing is excellence. Weak products need loud advertising. Strong products whisper, and the world listens. When quality is undeniable, customers speak for you. Brands follow you. Money chases you. Silence becomes power. Let the work speak. Noise is insecurity. Design was never decoration to me. Design is strategy. Design tells a story before a word is spoken. People do not buy buildings, they buy identity, they buy status, they buy meaning. Every line, every space, every material sends a signal to a specific buyer. The wealthy do not sell products, they sell a way of seeing oneself in the world. As my companies grew, I became ruthless about one thing: people. I hired only self-starters, no babysitting, no micromanagement. A players multiply value. B players drain time. C players poison momentum. If you must explain everything, you hired wrong. Talent without initiative is a liability. What carried me through decades was not intelligence. I have met many brilliant men who failed. Consistency beats intelligence every time. Showing up daily compounds invisibly. Brilliance occasionally impresses. Discipline always pays. Failure never frightened me. Failure was data. I failed, learned, adjusted, repeated. No drama, no identity crisis. Failure is expected in real work. Rich people do not panic, they recalibrate, and I guarded my reputation like a fortress. Reputation is currency. Trust opens doors faster than contracts ever will. Deals move quicker when your name carries weight. Reputation compounds silently, but one careless act can destroy it. Protect your name as you would protect your capital, because it is capital. I never chased money directly. I chased problems, massive ones. The bigger the problem you solve, the larger the reward that follows. Wealth is not the goal, it is the byproduct of impact. Money flows toward relief, toward solutions, toward scale. Do not chase money, chase unsolved pain. Through all of this, something quiet held me steady. Faith, belief, inner certainty. When markets collapsed, when partners betrayed, when logic said stop, belief carried me forward. You cannot build massive things with a small inner world. Panic builds nothing. Calm builds empires. As I aged, legacy changed my decisions. I began to ask different questions. Will this outlive me? Does this matter? Legacy removes greed. It replaces urgency with discipline. When you think beyond yourself, short-term temptation loses its power. Most people think wealth announces itself early. It does not. Real wealth is built quietly and revealed late. No early flexing, no validation chasing. Public success comes last. If everyone sees it early, it is usually fragile. And finally, understand this. Money is a tool, not the goal. Money buys time, it buys freedom. It buys the ability to create without permission. Rich people do not chase numbers, they chase autonomy. Applause fades, control remains. If everything I own disappeared tomorrow, I would not fear rebuilding. Not because I am brave, and not because I believe bad things cannot happen to me, but because I have already lost before. I have seen accounts fall to zero. I have watched years of effort disappear in a single season. Fear only controls those who believe their wealth is fragile. Mine was never the money. It was what built the money. Wealth is not luck. Luck is a story people tell themselves to feel better about standing still. Wealth is a skill learned slowly, painfully through repetition. It is pattern recognition. It is knowing where value hides when others panic. It is understanding timing, leverage, and human behavior. Once you see these patterns clearly, you cannot unsee them, and no market crash can take that away from you. I understand process. I understand systems. I understand psychology, especially my own. That is why loss does not terrify me. Losing money feels temporary when you know how it is made. Capital comes and goes, but skill compounds. When you learn the formula, rebuilding is not a miracle. It is simply a matter of time. This is what 75 years taught me. Not how to look rich, but how to become unshakable. And if you listen carefully, you will hear it too.